Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy Blank Online. Today, we're talking about Call of Duty 2020. I know we don't even have Call of Duty Modern Warfare yet. We don't even have any gameplay from that game yet. But some news has come out regarding next year's game. And we all know, earlier in the year, I think it was last month or something like that, Activision decided to make Sledgehammer Games and Raven Software back to where they originally were as support developers, and they're going back to the 2-year dev cycle with Infinity Ward and Treyarch interchanging games each year. So this year is Infinity Ward, next year is going to be Treyarch, and then Infinity Ward after that, and it's going to keep going until something changes again. Now, we reported earlier this year, you can go back to my video where I talk about it, where I talk about how Sledgehammer Games had some in-house fighting. They had a project and they weren't progressing in their project. They weren't gonna be ready for 2020, which is when Activision seemingly now made Treyarch step in and develop next year's game. As of late last month, when the article dropped on Kotaku, literally, that is when the developers found out that they're making a game next year. Like, they just finished Black Ops 4. They're still going with Black Ops 4, and then, bam, this bombshell drops on them, and they now have to develop a full game to be released seemingly next October, when they've had 3 years to develop Black Ops 4. Look how that turned out. Infinity Ward has 3 years to develop Modern Warfare, and they're still not ready to show gameplay yet. Now, Treyarch has, a year? Less than a year to get this game ready. According to the Kotaku article, I'll read you a little bit from it. Late last month, Treyarch informed staffers that they would be taking a lead role on a new Black Ops game in 2020, one that takes the series back to its Cold War roots. There are concerns in the studio that returning to a 2-year dev cycle will be an exacerbate the crunch and worrying the issues that Treyarch has been facing, even with sister studios Sledgehammer and Raven working alongside Treyarch. Will the development team be able to finish a new Black Ops in next year without killing themselves along the way, without burning out the employees? Apparently, several of the Treyarch employees say that the long-running shooter series is feeling stale, pointing to how Assassin's Creed took a year off in order to revitalize the franchise, and Activision is not willing to give the series a break. Now, this is concerning. And if you watched my video back then when we first initially talked about it, I talked about my concerns with this whole thing. And I'll repeat them again if you haven't watched that video, but feel free to. My concern with this is that with what we got with Black Ops 4, Black Ops 4 seemed to me like a game that was one thing at one point, but within a short period of time completely changed into another thing. That's what Black Ops 4 was to me. It seemed like they had an idea and had a way to push the franchise into somewhere new, but realized it wouldn't work with what Call of Duty is, so they were like, shit, let's go back to what we were before. So they made Black Ops 3 without the jump packs. It's essentially what Black Ops 4 is. Black Ops 4 is Black Ops 3 without advanced movement. 100%. 100% that is what that game is. And if they did that with 3 years, what are they going to do in 1 year? What does that say about next year's game? It's frightening that 3 studios that have all worked on their own Call of Duty game are coming together to create one game in 1 year. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it insane how 3 distinct developers with 3 distinct teams with 3 distinct ideas on where they think this game should where this game should be set, what this game should do mechanically, what modes should be in this game, what just all of this, 3 studios, 3 ideas 1 year. 1 freaking year. Why not take a break? Why not say, hey, it's a rush. Let's take 2020 off and come back in 2021 with a complete game. A proper game. Not a game that was chucked onto Treyarch's hands last minute. Not a game that has all 3 developers with 3 different ideas. A game where they've had more than a year to develop it, might I add. And all 3 developers coming to a conclusion on where they want to take this next game. If Sledgehammer and Raven are taking a step back and being more support studios, let Treyarch take the lead. Let them and David Vonderhaar and everyone at Treyarch say, this is what we want to do. This is our universe. This is our setting. This is what we're going to do. And then have Sledgehammer and Raven say, we had these ideas to make this game for 2020. Is there any way we can incorporate this? Because obviously Sledgehammer has had a couple years to develop their game. They're what, a year and a half in, 2 years in, they have stuff for 2020. They have concepts, they have level designs, they have something for 2020. Is Treyarch gonna take that? Is Treyarch gonna use any of that? What was this game? Was this a Cold War game? If it was, is it just gonna be whatever Sledgehammer was creating and slapping Black Ops on it? What was this game meant to be? What is this game going to be? Because we know as a community and as fans of the series that Activision will not take a break on Call of Duty. Activision is not Ubisoft. Ubisoft took a year off Assassin's Creed because they realized the franchise was getting stale, less and less people were buying it, more and more criticism was coming to the game, so they said, hey, let's take a break for a year. Let's give the developers a time to really make the game that they want to make, and not just once they finish creating one game, bam, they're instantly onto the next one. And that causes burnout, that causes the game to be stale. Why can't we do this with Call of Duty? I'm in the camp where I'm all for it. I love Call of Duty and I love getting a new Call of Duty every single year. But if taking a break from the franchise means that we get a better game at the end of that break, I'm all for it. I'm all for whatever this next game is, Black Ops 5 or whatever it is. I'm all for this game taking a year off and saying, hey, we'll play Modern Warfare for 2 years. But the reward will be so much sweeter because when we get Black Ops 5 in 2021, we're going to have a complete game. We're not going to have a Black Ops 4 situation where the game was one thing and then got changed into another thing and then it's just a reskin of Black Ops 3 without advanced movement. It's... Man, like, you think that the publisher would think, let's take a risk, right? You'd think that they'd be like, oh, yeah, we're making a lot of money on this, but if we do this, we'll make even more money. It's hard to think that they don't see that. It's hard to think that Activision is not looking at the dollars that they can get once Call of Duty comes back. Imagine the hype when Call of Duty takes a year off and comes back bigger, better than ever, refreshed, new ideas, and just, man, like, imagine that. Imagine the E3 press conference when whoever the fuck comes out and everyone knows that we are back. Call of Duty is back. Imagine YouTube when Call of Duty takes a break. And then when it comes back, imagine the hype on YouTube. Imagine me and all the other Call of Duty YouTubers that you watch. Imagine when we are hyped again and super hyped again for Call of Duty. Like, I'm excited for Modern Warfare, but if I don't have a Call of Duty for a year, I'm itching for something new. I'm itching for that next thing. And when in this hypothetical universe, in this setting where everything is perfect and this game gets announced again in 2021, man, that'd be hype. But we know it's not gonna happen. We know that Activision wants this game out in 2020. We know that they're not gonna they're not going to take a break, because in their eyes, they think short term. In their eyes, they're thinking, oh shit, if we take a break, we lose all this money. Where are we going to get our money from for 2020? It sucks, man. It really sucks. It really, really sucks. Call of Duty to the developers are getting stale. What does that say for the games that they're going to be creating? We saw with, I've said it so many times in this video, we saw with Black Ops 4 what happened. If the developers think that the franchise is getting stale, they'll revert back to what worked. Treyarch reverted back to Black Ops 3, took out the advanced movement, and popped on a couple new specialists. But then added the specialists that they left out later on. It's fucking mental, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. In the comments down below, would you be keen for a break? Would you be all for Call of Duty saying, 2020, we're not releasing a game. We're taking a break in order to refine the game that we have in development for 2021. Would you be for it? Would you be against it? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Click subscribe if you're new here. Click the bell for alerts so you don't miss out on my next video. And I will see all of you people later. Peace out.